Hi Flosstube, this is Flosstube number 12. Yay! How is everyone? I know the last time I did a video I said I wanted to do this more often, and the last video I did was the end of June and it's now September. So maybe if I say I don't want to do this as often, I might actually do it more often. It's been really busy. It's been insane, and it still is, but hey, I needed to get a video in and I've got some really good updates to show, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to do a video. So how is everyone? As you can see, I don't know if you follow me on Facebook, my hair was dyed blue, purple, green, there was all different colors in it, so it's all just fading out. And I think for the first time ever, you're seeing my hair in its natural state without being punished by curling, straightening irons and hair dryers. I have this mass of curly hair. As you can imagine, I just could not be bothered. Nope. So let's get into it, because I think this is going to be a long one. I have for you today a finish, an FFO, new starts, WIPS, something I want to talk about stock-wise, or a new product. It's not new product, a new product to me, and some haul, only a little bit, and some news on the Mermaid stitch along that everybody is waiting on. But first I'm going to do what I normally do and go through, we'll start with the WIPS. I'm just going to put my book down because I need notes today. Okay, I'm just random, totally random. Okay, so the first one is the beaded feminine. I always go to say corsetto, but it's not corsetto. There's Alessandra Adelaide now has 3 corset designs. One is femina, one is corsetto, and I think the other one's called lace corset. I think the lace corset is fairly new. So that's an update. I still have not hardly touched this. I don't know if you guys get it when you get to a certain point of a project, and with me it's always when we get towards the end, I lose interest in it. So this is why I need a weekend project that I just stitch on the weekends, because I have like 30 projects that are nearly finished and I completely lose interest in them and they're just sitting there. So I haven't actually specifically stitched on a project on a weekend only, or one project just for the weekend, probably since April, because I get so involved in the ones I'm stitching on, which I'm going to show you one that I started, and I swear to God I cannot put this one down. I get really into them. So, but this one is a bit of hard work. Being on black fabric doesn't help, but if you've got good lighting, it's okay. But yeah, I figure if I leave it for a bit, I might get interested in it again. But if I force myself to stitch it, I will hate it forever. That's my theory anyway. I do actually, I am starting to feel a little bit like, oh, I really should get back to that. So, who knows. The next one. Okay, I'm done a little bit more on this one since you last saw it, but not a great deal, and it doesn't look very defined because the back stitching's not in yet, but starting to move right over to the front page of this Carousel Horse by Shannon Christine. I can't wait to get the stitching done on this one, actually, because I'm really looking forward to putting in all the beads into this one. So that's that one. So yeah, I actually did a fair bit, which if you had have asked me, I would say, oh no, I haven't worked on that one. But yeah, obviously I have. Okay, what's next? I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is the Fantasy Sal by Lakeside. Is it Lakeside Linens or Lakeside Needlecrafts? Whatever. You all know who it's from. Now this one, I have since finished this little guy, the strawberry pixie. So one more to go, and then the border. But again, the rotation I had where I was working on one thing a week, completely gone out the window, and you'll see why. I don't know when I'm going to get back to that. When I get a couple of other things done, I'll start that rotation again. I think this is, Death by Cross Stitch. Yes. If you're in the Death by Cross Stitch group, you would have seen my last update. Now these little dudes are birds and they have feet, but I'm leaving the feet off and turning them into, what did I call them? A spanner-tail seahorse. Rather than a weird looking bird. I'm kind of like it without the feet, without the legs. Again, this must have been, the last time I stitched on this must have been a really busy week, because that's pretty much all I got done in that week. Crazy, hey? And yeah, I haven't pulled that out for a little while either. Okay, the next one, lots of beads in here. This is Mermaid of the Pearls by Mirabilia. I started a new mermaid because, like, you would know from my videos, if you watch my videos, that I want to have 3 in my bathroom, and I've only got 1 up and done so far. But I've actually made quite a bit of progress on her. I kept going from the middle. I always start in the middle, which is the middle of this design is like down here somewhere. And I went up to her face, because I find with Mirabilia's, starting in the middle is really awkward, and I like to go up to their head first and get that done. It's just a weird thing. But yeah, got quite a lot on her done from the last time you've seen that. Now this one's going to be stunning, because the amount of beads that are in this girl, she's going to be very heavy and stunning. And I'm loving the colours. Like, look at that. If it picks it up properly, the pinks and the purples in that. Like, I love it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I don't know what which one the third mermaid will be yet. I'll pick the next one when I finish this one. I'm not too fussed about that. I'll pick a third one. Okay, now this is, oh, okay. Oh, okay, this is a bit of haul as well included, because this is the Main Street. And you know how I said, oh, you can knock one over a week, no worries. I got to the second one and had another really busy week. So I got half a house done. And in the meantime, we have 3 more charts have come out since then. So there's like the gazebo. That's the newest one. Then there was the coffee shop. And then this one's just arrived, which is the art gallery. So yeah, I've got heaps to do and heaps to catch up on that. But that is what I've done so far. And I am doing them in one big long row. So it'll be one great big long Main Street. And that's Silver Springs by Colour Cascade Fabrics. And I didn't say any of the other fabrics. If you need to know any, just ask. They're all my fabrics, like Colour Cascade Fabrics, apart from the plain black, which I stock as well. Now, I rushed through them because in the meantime, between the last video and now, I had a new start on something that terrified me, a chatelaine. I was so scared to start this because I've never done any of the specialty stitches that chatelaines are full of. And I've never really although I've worked with beads, I've never used crystals. The Mirabilias I've done, and the Nora Corbetts that I've done, funnily enough, didn't have any treasures in them. So the weird shaped crystals and biocones and that I've never worked with. I don't know how to do it. So I'm learning as I go. Well, you remember when I bought the blue Moroccan lace Mandela from Chatelaine? I started it, and let me tell you, if you have not done a chatelaine, these things are so addictive, and I completely now understand why people just, I mean, I know there's ladies out there that they only stitch chatelaines. They don't even stitch anything else anymore. And I understand why. They are so much fun. All the specialty stitches are not as scary as what you think they are. You just have a little practice on a spare bit of fabric until you get it to how it looks right. And the instructions that come with it are so good. You really can't go wrong. But I have started, and I'm actually now working on the outer, very outside. I'm almost finished. Look at that. I've even put the beads in as I go. I know a lot of people don't like to do that. I figured because I've got the design on the Galaxy tab, and I'm highlighting it using that as I go, and with that the highlighting kind of goes into the other squares. It's really not exact, and I was finding that I was highlighting, as I was highlighting the stitching, I was highlighting where the beads meant to go as well. So I figured if I put the beads in as I go, I'm not going to get lost later on, because there are a lot. There's a lot of beads, and as you can see, I don't know if I can get up close, the Jessica stitches, there's Algerian eyelets, there's Rhodes, there's this really cool, where is it, like all this line work. But that, I'm addicted, totally. I will be doing more Chatelaines. In fact, Martina had a sale not long ago, a couple of months ago, I don't know. And I purchased the Tudor Garden. I'll insert a picture here, or I'll I purchased another one, and I've already started buying the stuff for it. With this one, there was no DMC. There is no DMC in this chart whatsoever. It is all Gloriana, Dinky Dyes, and Water Lilies. But it wasn't overkill. So if you want to start with if you want to do a Chatelaine and you want to start with a relatively small one, because this is small compared to some of the other ones, like the other ones are really large, I would highly recommend this. It wasn't, it was, well, it wasn't expensive to kit up. I mean, there's one Water Lily, I think 3 Dinky Dyes, and 3 Glorianas, and a couple of the Rainbow Gallery, or the Dinky Dye Pearls, and a couple of Rainbow Gallery. That's it. So it's not crazy. And I actually bought the bead pack from European Cross Stitch for $30 US. But now, between getting that and now, I've actually got an account with the person, with the wholesaler that does the delicate beads, so I can get them now anyway. But if you want to start out with something small and you want to give yourself a little bit of a challenge, and if you like the look of the Mandala, the Moroccan one, have a go. Like, I was scared, and I know they are really daunting, but the instructions are so good, and I know the charts are very expensive, but the amount of detail that are in these charts, and the depth that Martina goes into to explain how to do it, the step by step, they're totally worth it. Yeah, so I would recommend it. And actually on the bottom of this design it said keep an eye out for future releases, so I'm guessing that she's going to do different colorways than this one. That needle minder is Mermaid scales, which I got in. I'm actually going to have these available when the Mermaid stitch along is released. So yeah. Yeah, if you haven't tried a Chatelaine, and this one only has like 4 or 5 specialty stitches, which I did not find too hard to do at all. And I was scared. I was thinking, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. They are really easy. I've got another little whip, but I'm going to leave that till the end. Because if you come here for the Mermaid sale info, it'll all be at the end. I'm going to leave that till last. So you remember I had someone model stitch for me the girly sketch number 3. It's a color Cascade design, and she sent it back. And a friend of mine who does all the lamps, like there's a lamp up there, I've got like 4 of them in my bedroom, they're all over my house. She said, well, chuck it my way and I'll finish it for you. I said to her, yeah, go for it. You have total artistic license to do whatever you want. I got it back in the mail this week, and it is fabulous. So we didn't go with the pillow. She turned it into a wall hanging, and it is made of faux leather studs. And I love this little detail in the like chopsticks that are coming out of her hair. She's attached a chain with little skulls hanging off it. Like, I mean, come on, how cool is that? So this will most likely be hung up in this house as soon as I go to the hardware store and get a dowel rod to put through here to hang it. Thinking a dowel rod and maybe some black cord or some chain. But there's an FFO for you. Beautiful. And that fabric is called At Last, and it's a colour Cascade fabric. And I had a finish as well. I'm dropping everything. Needle worker is all done. And I have another one of the frames that I put the seahorse in. I'm going to use the other one for this, if it fits. I think it'll fit, but we hope so. But that's on Gold Digger, and this was actually a mist dye that was in the mist dye pile. I think it had these marks on it, so I didn't send it out. So these are the kind of things, this is what I do. Like, I usually only stitch on mist dyes and mistakes and experiments. It's my own little cool little fabric stash that's I have. That's the only finish I've had, because Chatelaine, as you can see, I started it and I did not stop. I think I stopped on it 1 week to do something else. I can't remember. I did it to do something else, and I think I ended up pulling whatever I stopped to do it on away, like within 2 days, because I wanted to go back to that. That's how addictive they are. And I swear it's the specialty stitches that suck you right in. The things that you're initially scared of are the things that keep bringing you back to it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Haul. I actually usually don't have a lot of haul, and this time's no different. It's not a lot, but I got the Mandela, the Tudor Mandela. I think it's Royal Tudor Garden or something like that, from Chatelaine. So I've started collecting the bits and pieces that are needed for that. Now this one's quite a lot more than the blue Moroccan lace. There's a whole heap of DMC that goes in here as well, and NPI silks. But I'm actually going to substitute the NPI for DMC. I'm not going to buy them, because when I looked at the colours, they're not variegated, they're very plain colours, so I'm just going to go with DMC. No one's going to know the difference. Water lilies I generally won't substitute, because water lilies are very variegated most of the time. There's not many very plain colours in water lilies. And Rainbow Gallery, well, I prefer that to Krynic anyway, and I don't think Chatelaine, I don't even know, but I don't think Chatelaine actually charts with Krynic. And Dinky Dyes, a lot of these, I think, I mean, some Dinky Dyes you could probably get away with swapping out to DMC. I mean, like that one, for example, is not variegated at all. Like, that could easily be a DMC. This one, it's variegated. I don't know if it's picking that up. Yeah, it is, yeah. So I wouldn't swap that out, and that one's very variegated as well. So yeah, Dinky Dye, I'd tend to stick with them. I wouldn't substitute them. One thing though that I have learnt since stitching, and I'll see if we can actually, if I can get it on camera. This stuff has pearl, dinky dye pearl. It is the most horrible stuff I have ever used in my life. And honestly, if I had known what it was, I would have gone with DMC for that as well. If I'd known, if I had a stash of, or if I knew what the colour was, I would choose the closest DMC, because I don't know if we're going to have much success. See that border, that light, very light box that goes across there and then down the middle, and the camera's not going to pick it up. This stuff is so twisty when you stitch it that there is like no possible way I can think of to get the threads sitting nicely on each other. It's every single stitch has a twist in it, in the thread, which now that I'm looking at it as a whole, it's not as noticeable. And you know, like, you can't, I mean, let's face it, no one is going to be looking at this up this close when it's on the wall. It's going to be on the wall and you're not going to notice. And that's why I think it'd be all right to swap out a lot of the silks for DMC, because a lot of people aren't going to notice unless they're a stitch or two and they've stitched it, which what are the odds of that? Yeah, I wouldn't use that again. I hate the stuff. And I watched Emily's video yesterday, and she said exactly the same thing. And next time I do the Chatelaine, I haven't bought it for the Royal Tudor. Actually, I think I got lucky, and I don't think it's in here because I've got all the Rainbow Gallery that is required, and it's not in here. Another little tip for those, this is Mirabilia, Chatelaine, whatever. Whisper thread, that horrible stuff that everybody hates, but looks so good in a pattern. Do you want to know the trick? Big-eyed needles. They're size 22. So Ada, your Ada needles, they're going to make your life so much easier threading that whisper through that than your little tiny size 28 needle. There was something else in here, I think. No, that's all for that. So yeah, I'm starting to kit that up. I also have been going through and picking up some Mirabilias along the way, because I was never a Mirabilia stitcher ever. I thought they just weren't my style. Ever since I stitched that Mermaid, and that was like the Chatelaine, I completely was engrossed in her and just got her done in like a month, or probably less, I don't even know. I've got a new appreciation for them. And another thing I've noticed with Mirabilia is that these cover pictures that are on the chart and that get released when they are released do absolutely nothing to sell these designs. I now go off people that have stitched. I go off what's been posted on Facebook and on the internet, because these charts I would not have bought ever unless I've seen these finished. The colours in this, on that front cover design, are nowhere near as beautiful as what it actually looks like stitched. So that one's called Caring Wings. if you get a chance, jump on and have a look online at look for photos of them actually stitched. Like this is another one. This one is like, that picture does nothing for that chart. That's Titania or Titania, Queen of the Fairies. The Woodland Fairy. And this came out, and I actually, if you're in my group, you know every month, whether it's Nora Corbett's or Mirabilia's, there's a new release, and I put them up for offer and people put their name down. And a couple of years ago, this came out, Christmas in London, and I had zero interest in it. To me, it was far too busy. There was too much going on. It has a huge bead list. But someone finished this recently on plain white opalescent Lugana. And oh my God, it is stunning. I fell in love with it and I had to have it. And this is another one. This picture does nothing for that design. But I've seen a few people on Flosstube stitching this, and the colours in it are amazing. So there's a few more Mirabilias that have been added to my stash. I got a little present from Liesl, who, when she first put her order in, I sent her a message saying, oh my God, you live in my old hometown. So she comes from the Hawkesbury, which is where I'm from, in over east. And she said to me, oh, we were talking about it. And she said, have you ever seen the designs from Juniper Designs? And it's a series, early Australian village collection. And there's actually a chart with Windsor, the main street of Windsor, which is where we are both from. Well, I'm actually from Richmond. Like, I grew up in Richmond and I moved to Windsor later on. But Windsor and Richmond are called the twin towns. They're the same place, basically. But, you know, there was always that rivalry, the Richmond-Windsor crew. So guess what she sent me? It's a very old chart. The chart is actually, I don't know if I can show you a little bit of it. It is actually handwritten. Like, I'll show you this page. I've gone through and converted whatever these were. It's originally for DFT. It said, I don't know what DFT are. DFT. Yeah, I don't know what DFT are. I think I looked it up and I did find it online, but Danish flower thread. I've never heard of it. So, and there was an online conversion that converted the Danish flower thread to DMC. So I've gone through and done that while I had a chance. But if you can see there, all the symbols are all handwritten. Now that is this design at the bottom here, and it's a very old colonial section of Windsor. So I have to get that fabric sorted for that. I mean, it's even got like handwritten historical notes about each chart. Yeah. It's based on the 1810 street scene which is still there, by the way. It's amazing. It's one of the things when I go back home, when I go back to the Hawkesbury, I want to go around and look at all the old buildings again, because it used to be just, that used to be just normal for me. That's where we came from. Where over here, where we are now, there's nothing historical about it. It's all, I think the oldest houses around where we are probably 40 years old. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing. We have to go to Fremantle to see anything remotely historical. So, okay. I'm really excited about that chart, if you can't tell. So I need to start it. So thank you, Liesl. I love it. Along the tracks, I don't know why I never stocked this before, but I am now, and I will keep it. Nymo thread. This is how it comes to me. This has to be, I'm going to put this up there with needles. This is a must. If you bead, you have to have this thread. That is going to last, like, look how thick that is. This is, I'll pull a thread out. See that thread there? That's as thin as it is. It's about the thickness of one strand of DMC cotton. No longer do I have to go and find the DMC that matches the fabric or the bead. I now use this. If you're a beader, you need this. It is so easy to use. It's not. I've heard of some invisible thread, which personally I've never used, so I have no experience, but I've heard terrible things about it. This is just like using DMC, but it's white. It's kind of a clearish white, if that makes sense. It's not completely white, so you don't have to worry. It also comes in black, which I'm getting in my next order for things if you're going to use beads on black fabric, like I am at the moment with that corset. Perfect. The black's going to blend right in with the fabric and you're not going to know. So if I was going to plug a product, that would be it. The Nymo thread. Getting really thirsty. Okay, haul as well. Do you remember when I said I'm over BAPs? I don't think I'll ever stitch another one. Bit sick of them. I think I've done enough BAPs. I bought 2 this week. One of them you're going to completely understand when you see it. And this was posted in Stitch Mania, so I'm guessing most of you have seen it. I'll stick it here. Maxine Gadd. If you remember from my previous videos, one of the first finishes I ever had was the Baby Ghosts, which was by Maxine Gadd. She had her art originally designed by Mystic Stitch. I don't know if you can still get her designs there. I haven't actually looked into it, to be honest. And then she went to Heaven and Earth Designs, which I never bought any of her designs from there. I like the way Mystic Stitch charted her stuff. And then all of a sudden she went out on her own, and she's doing her own, she has her own website and charts them herself, much like Neen Thomas did. And I'm pretty sure there was another artist that did the same thing, but I can't remember who it was. So if you're interested, it's called Maxine Gadd's Imaginarium. I also bought this. Believe it or not, those two designs have made me want to stitch a big ass project again. So I'm going to have to throw one of them into rotation, and I'm thinking Death may have to be it. But that Elizabeth really draws me in. Like, I had to have that chart, and that does not happen very often with me anymore. I am not impulsive anymore. I don't have to buy everything I see anymore. I don't have to buy 20,000 charts from one place anymore. When I see something like that, and I haven't bought a PDF design, I would have to say, going on, the last one I bought, I think, was from Charting Creations, from Nikki, which was probably about this time last year when I first started doing videos, actually. I think I'm coming up to my first year. I have to look into that. I think I may have started doing Flosstube in August last year. Happy 1 year anniversary, guys. Yeah, so go and check it out. Her stuff is beautiful. I did notice that there is going to be a lot of confetti involved, where I found that Mystic Stitch really worked on their confetti. It wasn't crazy. That's why I liked their designs. Every Heaven and Earth design I've started, I think I've only finished one. And that only had like 50 something colors in it, so it wasn't nuts. I think I've done a story keep as well, which took a couple of weeks. Yeah, so this is looking a bit confetti heavy, and when you go to order, it's very different to what we're used to. It asks you what fabric count you are going to stitch on, how many color, it gives you an option of how many colors you want in the chart, whether you want 50, 100, 150, 250 colors. It also gives you 2 or 3 different size options. So you have to actually choose that to go through to the next process. You can't just say PDF and then go to the next stage. You've got to actually answer all those questions to get through. So have a little bit of a think about that. Like I really took my time and figured out if I want the smaller version or the big version. And the big version's going to be about 26 by 36 inches size fabric, which is okay for me. When it starts getting around a meter of fabric, no, I'm never going to do that. Never. Yeah, so have a look. Give her a go. I'm going to start stitching. I'm going to throw that into rotation and start putting some stitches in that. Whichever one. I don't know. I don't know which one I want to do first. Help me. You choose one. Death or Elizabeth. Because I love them both. And I'm not going to start both at the same time. No. No. Okay. Now, I have a really good surprise to all of you, for all of you that have been hanging around waiting for information on the Mermaid sale. I can tell you. So wait a minute. I'm doing a video.
Hello. Hello, video world.
I just got a message saying my dad got 3 stitches in his arm. I have to ring Mum and find out what the hell happened. I got the border design, and this morning when I woke up, I found one of the mermaids in my mailbox that she has sent me to get a model stitch done. So I'm going to show you. Okay. The design is charted with Chronic. Now, as I've said a million times, any chance I get, swap out Chronic for Treasure Braid. So when you get the chart, it's going to have Chronic. If you've got any of the gold Treasure Braids in your stash, use that if you prefer Treasure Braid. And it's not going to matter what gold you use. Whatever gold you're happy with. I chose the gold that's closest to the beads, because it's all in the border. These beads are all throughout the design as well, the gold beads, and there's other coloured beads in there as well. But for a little sneak peek, I've actually done one of the circles, because obviously you are all so excited to find out what you're stitching and what you're going to get, and wanted to have a look so you can make your decision whether you want to be in or not. Are you ready? There you go. Another one coming through the door. Sorry. Sorry. Let's see if you can get that shimmer and shine. So the crystals, they're all beads. That is all the Rainbow Gallery Treasure Braid. In the middle of these, there is going to be more bugle beads. You can leave that out if you want to. Like with the fantasy sale, I have decided that I'm not going to fill in the centers that are in the chart, but in this one I'm going to, because it's going to look great. But that is your sneak peek of the border. I am, because I now have the mermaid, or a mermaid, I can go ahead and stitch that, and then by the time I've stitched that, the rest of the chart should be with me, and we can release it. So it'll be like a little photo opportunity, a little sneak peek at your mermaids, what you're going to get. There's the design. For those who are worried about the beading and the putting the crystals in, this one here actually is going to be bigger than those two. I've used a smaller one because I don't have the big ones. I didn't pull them out. Like, I've got them, but I didn't pull them out. I just wanted to get those crystals in, and there's actually one in there, but it's like the crystal clear one. Again, there's another mermaid needle minder. Colours in that. They will be available with the sale. We're getting close now. She's really concentrating on it now and getting it done and putting the final touches. We're just emailing back and forth, especially things about, you know, like little things that I've noticed as I'm stitching, not in this design but on the actual chart, just to make it easier, because there's a couple of things that are quite, just ignore my nails, they're still black from when I dyed fabric. Yeah, so we're just working out. I'm making sure that every aspect of every part of this design and the chart and the details that come along with it are worked out, easy, so no one has a problem. And I know that there's a lot of people who haven't used beads and crystals before I'm going to do a video about beading and adding crystals in the Facebook group, not here. It'll be like a live video in the Facebook group. If you don't make it for when I'm actually doing it live, it'll be in the video section of, you'll still be able to watch it. It'll be in the video section. You know how you go to when you go to groups, there's a photo section. There's also, well, if you click on that, I'm pretty sure there's a video section under that. It'll be in there. The fabric that I used for this, I was originally going to go with Islands of Avalon, but I had a large piece of When Mermaids Cry on 28 count opal. So you can see it's picking up the blues there. That was a mist eye. So it was in the box. So save me having to cut a new piece and dye a new piece of fabric of the Islands of Avalon. I just cut that mist eye down to size. So you can see, I think I cut all the mist eye bits out of it. So there's nothing wrong with this actual piece. But when it was bigger, it had like dye marks or something on it, or dye spots, which I didn't like and couldn't send. So that's Islands of Avalon. It's really hard to pick up the blue in there as well as the green, but there's some blue in there as well. I'm hoping that you can see that part down here. Yeah, so I will do a video. I will do it once the chart is on the website, ready to go, and it all starts being actioned. I will do the video. I don't want to do it now and then everybody ask me in a month's time to do it again. We'll do it when it's all fresh, because I'm guessing the border is going to be the first thing that people want to do. I know some people like to do the whole border. If you like me, I do a little bit at a time, so I've just gone up to the first one. But the next one I do, I'm going to go to where this mermaid sits that she's given me, which is down here. So I'm going to sneak down here and do that circle and then do the mermaid, and that will be what is on the photo that is released for the sale. I'm really excited about it because it looks just like what I pictured it would look like. Those crystals look amazing. I actually think I would prefer Islands of Avalon over When Mermaids Cry, which is that colour fabric. I just think the green doesn't make that gold. It does when you're looking at it, stitching it on camera, which is what I need. I need photo opportunities. So on camera, I think Islands of Avalon would actually look better. But if you've chosen When Mermaids Cry, it looks great when you're stitching it. I just think for the photo reason for the website, I think this colour fabric would have been better. But then I know what I'm like. I would have done it on Islands of Avalon and probably said the same things, that I think When Mermaids Cry would have been better. So that's it. I don't have anything else, I don't think. The next video should include some footage from the retreat, which is next month, or the end of next month. If I happened to do another video before then, I highly doubt it. I'm slack with these videos. Seems like once every 2 or 3 months is my thing, which is fine because it gives me content to use, doesn't it? It's not the same. If I did it every month, nothing much is going to be different because I don't start a whole heap of stuff and I don't buy a whole heap of stuff. So I will finish this off now and I will insert the photos of those charts that I purchased, and I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you're excited for the stitch along. If you haven't already, if you were waiting for a little bit of update, you can register on the website. It costs nothing to register. The whole purpose of registering is for me to be prepared when the sale starts. So if I know how many people are going to be ordering fabric, embellishment packs, I can be prepared now rather than later. So when the sale is released, I have it all sitting here ready to go. When you buy it, it's going to be in the mail. If you would prefer to not register now and wait to see people stitching it, that is perfectly fine. It will be available once the sale starts, but there may be a wait. You may have a bit of a wait with the embellishment packs and fabrics. You may not, but you may. That's just the downside of not registering. So it's up to you. If you're not in a hurry and you're not fast and you don't mind waiting, that's fine. But if you are the sort of person that I want it and I want it now, I want it straight away, I don't want to be behind, I want to be keeping up with everybody else, then you're probably better to register. So I think that's all I need to tell you. I don't think I have anything else. If I do, I'll put another little bit in and add it on to the end. So until next time, catch you later.